This is the brand new HBX 901A. It's the one I've been teasing for a little while now. A lot of people are excited about this one. It costs pretty much the same as the very popular 16889A Pro Brushless, the little 1/16 scale monster truck. I think this is going to be great. So let's begin, let's get it out of the box and find out what we get. Right, so let's take a closer look at what we get in the box, and then we'll have a look at the truck itself. Now we'll start with the battery. We've got a 1600 milliamp hour, 30C, 2S LiPo, and you may be thinking, how is a 1600 milliamp hour battery with a 1/12 scale model actually going to give us any good runtime? Well, it will in fact, and that is because the truck is so light and so efficient. If it looks like there's some things missing on the counter here, that is because the LED lights that this comes with have already been fitted, and as you can see, the half-used decal sheet there, I have already pre-applied the decals. That is something you have to do when you get the truck out of the box. They also include a screwdriver, some screws, and the rear wing, and again, you do have to fit that before use. Don't forget to take off the clear plastic film, which will reveal a nice glossy finish on the body. We get a USB charger, which is pretty much the standard sort of charger that you get with these cheap RC cars. We've got a black and white manual, and this is quite basic, but what I do like is the fact that you have got some exploded diagrams, and you've got all the different parts listed as well, which is going to come in handy if you do need to buy some spare parts for your 901A. LED lights are also included with this truck, and they do have to be fitted. This is a very simple process, and we will cover this in more detail later. Finally, the transmitter, and it is pretty much your cheap Haiboxing special, but it doesn't feel too bad, and it will definitely get the job done. You've got your usual adjustments on here, your steering trim, your steering dual rate, and your speed adjustment as well. And this is really good if you're new or you're just starting out. You can turn the speed of the truck down a little bit, and this being brushless, it is going to be a little bit more powerful than some of the other brushed models out there. Having that speed switch there is going to be really, really good if you're just starting out. So that is pretty much all you get in the box with the HBX 901A. All you have to do is get your decals fitted, get the rear wing fitted, and then you are ready to go. Now I'm extremely excited to take a closer look at the truck, so let's do that now. Here it is then. This is the 901A, and I think this is one of the best looking RC cars we've ever had on the channel. I'm a huge fan of desert trucks, so naturally I am a huge fan of this. Body wise, I'm really liking the orange and black colour scheme. I think it looks really, really good, especially with the black soft plastic rear wing. That feels like it's going to take a lot of abuse. Overall, I think this thing looks insane. I'm really liking the light bar on top here, and I cannot wait to fire this up to see just how bright these LEDs are. Right, let's get the body off and take a closer look underneath. So let's start with the electronics. We've got a 3800 kV brushless motor. We've got a 2-in-1 35 amp ESC, a 17 gram servo, which does use a free wire connection, which is really, really good if you do want to upgrade later on. Having the free wire option is definitely a very good thing. I have tested out quite a few different Haiboxing models in the past, but I've never tested out any of their brushless offerings, so I'm extremely excited to see how much of a difference that little brushless system makes. That's pretty much all there is to talk about when it comes to the electronics, so let's take a closer look at some of the other features on the chassis. As you would expect from a truck in this price range, you do get metal gears throughout, and you also get metal diffs. You get metal dog bones in the rear, and you've got metal CVDs in the front. You've also got a metal centre drive shaft. As you would expect, this does also come with ball bearings throughout, and I'm very impressed with the amount of metal components that this comes with. Oil-filled shocks come as standard on this truck, and compared to some of the cheaper models in the HBX range, this is another bonus. And I really dislike friction shocks, so much so that I think they should stop selling RC cars with friction shocks and only ever include oil-filled shocks, as the price difference surely can't be that much more expensive. The shocks feel really good, and I do believe they are exactly the same as the shocks that you get on the 16889A Pro Brushless. One of the only bad things I have noticed so far about this truck is the size of its battery tray. It is tiny. Now, I get where they were going with this. They wanted to try and keep things nice and light, but I would have preferred to have seen a slightly larger chassis with a little bit more space to fit a higher capacity battery. This isn't a major issue because the included battery should still give us between 15 and 20 minutes of runtime. We did briefly talk about the LED lights, so we have got the LED light bar on the top there. I have also fitted the optional LEDs into the front bumper. As you can see, all you have to do is slot them in, run the cable through, and plug that cable into a spare port on the ESC. That is all you have to do. Very simple. So let's fire this up and see what they look like. They use a firm compound when it comes to the tyres, but they still feel really good, and I think they are going to perform great when it comes to trying this out off-road. And what's nice about this is they do include foam inserts, which is something usually you only see on more expensive models. So we've had a closer look at what we get in the box. We've also taken a closer look at the truck itself. There's only one thing left to do. Let's get the battery charged up. We will head out and we will find out just how good this 901A actually is. So let's do it. Right, so it's finally time to see how the 901A performs. The first thing we're going to do is a speed test. They state this will do 45 kilometers per hour out the box, which is about 27 miles per hour. But will it do it? Well, there's only one way to find out. Right, let's do this. Let's find out just how fast this truck actually is. Well, straight away it certainly feels quicker than a lot of the brushed models that I've tried. The LED lights look really good. That is flat out, full throttle. But will it do the 27? I was seriously impressed with the 903. That was one of the cheaper brushed models. Out the box they said it would do 19, and it actually done 17. And you know, I said in that video I can let them away with that 2 miles per hour because with ideal conditions on a really good day, I think that could have reached the 19. I'm really hoping we get close to the 27. Right, let's see what we got. 25. So that is very impressive considering that's only 2 miles per hour short than the claimed speed. Haiboxing, I am seriously impressed already. So you may be wondering, hang on a minute, it didn't do 27 miles per hour. Why am I still impressed? Well, I am impressed because, again, with ideal conditions, I mean, it is freezing cold today here in the UK. With ideal conditions, I reckon this probably could hit the 27. There's a lot of companies out there at the moment who are promising speeds on the box and on their websites, and a lot of the models don't ever reach close to that speed. 25 miles per hour is definitely a decent speed, considering this is a little 1/12 scale truck. Just giving it a quick test over here on the sort of medium length grass. Now, I did say in one of my other videos, if you're looking to do, you know, primarily grass stuff, you do want to be looking at something a little bit bigger than a 12 scale model. As you can see, he's handling the grass absolutely fine, but you can feel it sort of struggling a little bit with some of the longer patches. So it's definitely worth considering a larger model if that is your intention. I don't know why anyone would want to run in grass, because look, every time you run in grass, it is an absolute nightmare. So it might not be that good on the grass, but that isn't what this truck is made for. This truck is made to be used in the dirt, and it's definitely not dry today. It is extremely wet. This thing has got a nice amount of power. I did say on one of my community posts recently that this could be the best cheap RC car you can currently buy, and you know, I need to obviously justify making a statement like that. Now, the reason I said that is because this thing does offer everything you need out the box. Not only does it look great, but as you can see, it performs really, really well. It's definitely a nice amount of power, a lot more than you get with the cheaper brushed models. So it is enough to keep a beginner happy. You don't have to worry about the upgrades, you know, you don't have to worry about upgrading to metal drive shafts, the power system. Everything you need to keep you happy is there, ready and waiting for you as soon as you get it out the box. I think HBX are definitely realising what the customer wants. You know, everybody just wants ease. You don't want to have to upgrade loads of things before you can get the most out of the model. So having the oil-filled shocks and the metal drive shafts and everything you need to get you going is a huge, huge bonus. Now guys, I have to say, I think HBX have made an absolute masterpiece here. This thing ticks every single box. Now you've got other companies out there who are doing things really, really well. They're producing some great RC cars at the moment, but there's always that one thing missing. But with this, I'm struggling to find anything wrong with it or anything I'd like to change. It has the right amount of power, handling is great, it's super lightweight. Yes, you know, the one thing I would like to see is a slightly bigger battery tray, but if you get a handful of 1600 milliamp hour batteries, and they're not very expensive at all, you're going to get a huge amount of runtime, and it's really not going to bother you that much. You know, I'm always honest with you. If a product is bad, I will tell you it's bad, regardless of what companies want me to say. But I really cannot find any faults with this, and that is a rarity when it comes to, you know, this hobby. Usually there's always something that needs upgrading or improving. It's very rare to find a car that is just perfect out the box, but I think we may finally have it. There we go then, that is the HBX 901A. You've seen it in action, you've seen the speed test. It achieved 25 miles per hour when they state it will do 27 miles per hour. And like I said earlier, that is acceptable. That isn't as if it's, you know, sort of 10 miles per hour slower, like what some other companies are doing at the moment. So I'm very impressed with the speed test. When it comes to the grass test, it did struggle a little bit on the longer grass, but that isn't what this truck is made for. This is made to be used on the dirt and the mud and the gravel, all those sort of surfaces. It's not really intended for grass, and if you're looking to run on grass, you may want to consider a slightly larger model. But this thing is utter perfection. And calling an RC car perfection is something I don't do very often. It has to tick every single box. And again, like I said, very rarely does an RC model tick every single box for me. There's usually something that I'd like to change. The battery tray thing is just a minor thing. It's not something that prevents this thing from performing really well. Like I said, just get a handful of batteries and you're going to be good to go. Now, I'm very interested to hear what you guys make of this. I absolutely love it. I've got loads of stuff that I want to try with it. There isn't a huge amount of content on the 901A just yet, which is why I want to give you as much as I can so that you can make your decision as to whether or not you actually want to go and buy one of these. Now, this is almost double the price of a 144001, and that thing is the go-to beginner RC car, as we know. But I think if you spend the extra money, this could be totally worth it. I'm very interested to see how this would perform with a 3S pack. I'm pretty sure that ESC can handle a 3S LiPo, so we will do that in an upcoming video. We'll do the speed test again, we'll see what speeds we get, and then we'll test it out pretty much exactly what we've done today and see how it performs. So we're going to leave the video there today. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I've got loads more great videos on their way, so subscribe to stay up to date. But apart from that, we're going to leave the video there today. Cheers for watching, guys, and I will see you again soon on the next one. This thing is great.